Yesterday, we received a whole lot of new information about Title Update 2 for Monster Hunter Wilds, which is going to be arriving on Monday. If you guys take a look at this graphic that we have right here, we can see that on Monday, June 30th, 2025, we're going to be getting Lagiacrus Seregios, also known as Steve, in the community. We're going to be getting layered weapons as well as a bunch of other additional features. And then later down the line, we're going to be getting a new Festival of Accord. This is going to be the Summer Fest, which is going to bring with it a whole bunch of new event quests. One of the things that I talked about this is I would really like to see more event quests pumped out during these particular events because, you know, we got a bunch of event quests during the stream, the spring event, but I expected there to be more. I kind of feel like during World there was more, but I didn't really do a one-to-one comparison, so I could be wrong there. It just felt like there was more stuff to do. But, you know, I'm hoping that they up the number of event quests during the seasonal event here, but we'll see if that is the case or not. Then we're also going to be getting Arch-Tempered Uthduna on July 30th. Arch-Tempered Uthduna is going to work very much the same way that it worked with Raidao, which means first we're going to be getting like a regular quest where you just go and you hunt him down and you hunt down materials to get his armor and all that stuff. And then later down the line, we're going to be getting a free challenge quest, which is likely going to have like some type of time attack aspect to it, very much like the Raidao quest. So that is kind of like what you can expect. Now, one of the things that I really wanted to see, I don't think they're going to be doing it with this, but I really wanted to see Arch-Tempereds with 5 strength because Raidao only came as a 3 strength Arch-Tempered. Not exactly sure what the reasoning is behind that, but I would expect Uthduna to follow the same pattern. Would be interesting to see why they're saving the 5 strength ones, or if there even are 5 strength versions of Arch-Tempered monsters, if that is something that they have planned. We shall see what happens with that. Anyways, later down the line on August 27th, we're going to be getting the Event Quest Fender Special Collaboration. This is like a collaboration with the guitar brand Fender, and you're going to be able to get an emote where your character is just going to pull out a face melter. I think this is going to be pretty fun. I'm happy that at least this is something that we can get from Event Quests rather than just paid DLC, even though this update is going to bring with it DLC as well. But the purpose of today's video is not just to recap the stuff that we got yesterday, because earlier this morning I was also tagged on a Twitter post that had a new director letter, but that was in Japanese, which I don't really understand Japanese. I didn't really want it to put it through ChatGPT to like translate all that or whatever. So I waited for the official translation here. This is directly on the official Monster Hunter account. We're going to be going over it right now for the first time. I haven't really seen what is said here and see what Yuya Takuda is going to be telling us, because he is the game director and he is the one that writes these directors' letters. So here we go. Mini Director's Letter, July 2025. Hello, Hunters. This is Yuya Takuda, director of Monster Hunter Wilds. Thank you to everyone who watched the Capcom Spotlight for news on Free Title Update 2. Free Title Update 2 major additions. The second Free Title Update will feature 2 additional monsters, Lagiacrus and Seregios, as well as additional features such as layered weapons, and later in the summer, the release of Arch-Tempered Uthduna. Everyone on the development team worked hard on Lagiacrus and Seregios to make them as enjoyable as possible. We hope you will enjoy seeing them in Free Title Update 2 when they are released. And I have to say, if you have seen the new trailer for Title Update 2, Lagiacrus definitely looks like they're doing the monster justice. This is a very iconic monster for the community because this is the flagship monster for Monster Hunter Tri, which is a game that was very popular here in the West. It was also the game where I first started playing the game, and there was like a very iconic quest where they just sent you to pick up some monster guts, and suddenly you're underwater, and you know, underwater being a new mechanic even for veteran hunters, so you're not like super comfortable, and they just throw the flagship at you out of nowhere and just like a big jump scare. It was a really iconic moment for the community, I believe, not to mention it's just a very enjoyable hunt all around. So people have been wanting Lagiacrus for a very long time, and just in case you guys weren't aware, just like as a little bit of trivia, Lagiacrus was actually intended to make a comeback during Monster Hunter Wilds, but they couldn't figure out how to implement him into the ancient forest because it was like something about his belly like going below the world and whatnot. There was something like really weird about it, but they were finally able to figure it out and they made it work for this one, so I'm super excited to fight him. But anyway, as he's saying, as well as additional features, layered weapons, Arch-Tempered Uthduna. Everyone in the development team worked hard on Lagiacrus to make them as enjoyable as possible. We hope you will enjoy seeing them in the Free Title Update 2 when they are released. In this director's letter, I would like to introduce some of the details that we were not able to share with you in the Capcom Spotlight program. This includes improvements and adjustments featured in the free title Update 2, as well as further updates still to come. So we have here the major additions, which I already kind of rattled off to you guys. 2 additional monsters, Lord of the Seas, Lagiacrus, Thousand Blade Wyvern, Seregios. Seregios is also a really fun fight. This was the flagship monster for Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, which was one of the more popular of like old school Monster Hunters when it released in the West. This is one of the more popular releases, and this was for the 3DS. So it's also been, I mean, people have seen Steve Seregios in Rise and Sunbreak. Was it Rise or was it just Sunbreak? I forget, but it was in Rise or Sunbreak, so we've already seen him there. But for people that skipped Rise and Sunbreak and were waiting for like Wilds, this is going to be the first time they see him, which is pretty cool. Anyway, additional features, layered weapons, which was already talked about, Festival Accord Flame Fett, Art Tempered with Tuna, and Defender Special Collab, as well as more stuff. Then, free title Update 2, major improvements and adjustments. Thank you very much for sending us your feedback and requests via the survey form, and particularly would like to thank you for your feedback on 4 key areas. Usability, UI and UX improvements, that's good. Weapon balance adjustments, improved game stability, Steam version, and 4 more challenging hunts and further gear to chase. I'm not sure that we're going to like this one, considering some of the posts that I've seen people tag me on. But yeah, we'll see how that one pans out. I think that the feedback on further gear to chase, it's kind of like monkey paw curls. We'll see how that pans out. But yeah, this is good. One of the things that I've noticed for Monster Hunter Wilds is that they definitely seem to be paying a lot more attention to weapon balance adjustments. Like, they've always adjusted weapon balance throughout the games, but I feel like this time in particular, they're paying way more attention to that for some reason, which is interesting. He says, we are aware of these core feedback areas and are working to improve and adjust them. In Free Title Update 2, the main improvements and adjustments to 1 and 3 are planned to include the contents of the attached image, one being usability and improved game stability. Okay, they're going to be talking about performance. Please note that only includes a small amount of the improvements coming in Free Title Update 2. For more details and other details, please visit the website. This is a strange translation. For more details and other details, please visit the website to read the full update notes. We did this yesterday on stream. In case you want, you can go to the stream and just like check it out there. I'm not going to be reading through the entirety of the patch notes here. We'll continue to make improvements to 1 and 3 in future updates. Next, we'd like to focus on how we plan to introduce more challenging hunts, as well as more late and endgame gear pursuits in the game's future updates. Major improvements and adjustments, usability, improved sacred usability, both the speed of your sacred runs. Okay, yeah, this is stuff that we had seen yesterday. So they're making sacred more responsive. Improved map usability, remove the skip function from important chat notifications made so the map can now be open while notifications are still active. Just the maps that are no longer automatically switches levels when focusing on a large monster. That was actually something more important than this that I remember. But yeah, it's this thing. The ability to display skill information with one button pressed on various keys has also been added. But one of the things that they've added that it doesn't appear to be here that is very, very, very important, you're actually going to be able to see what food buffs do. They're doing that. We're going to be able to see what food buffs do. So like the skill menus, the skill displays now also include food buffs, which is going to be very, very important for us to actually understand, because a lot of the skills in food in this game, a lot of us weren't able to understand those. The ammo pouch is not automatically restocked, added take all feature to not this material retrieval facility. This is also should have been done from the beginning. I remember the first time I collected material there, I was like, why is there no take all? This doesn't make any sense. Added a remove all decorations function to add the decorations submenu. Added item boxes outside the hunter stand in each base camp and grand hub. In case you guys are wondering, well, what's this for? So that you don't have to go inside the tent to access the inventory management functionality. You can do it from outside of the tent. Added an outdoor item box as a camp gear option that can be set up at pop-up camps. So basically everywhere that you can go to restock and do stuff like that, you're going to be able to do it now without entering the tent. There's also here various balance changes focused on upwards adjustments, buffs, weapon types. They list here sword and shield, dual blades, longsword, hammer, hunting horn, lance, gun lance, even though I can assure you gun lance did not get buffed. As a matter of fact, if anything, got slightly nerfed, but it was a bug. There was like some bug where whenever the worm stake cannon would proc a crit, there was a higher chance of the following hits also proccing a crit. crit higher than normal, so they just fixed that. It was whatever. Hammer, dual blades, and charge blade in particular. I don't know what you're talking about, bro. Dual blades. Yeah, dual blades got massive buffs. It was insane. Substantially reworked with new actions, combo changes. The hammer is also getting like a new follow-up to the offset attack and all of that good stuff. We'll make further adjustments in version 1.21 update in early August to weapon types, dual blades, hunting horn, lance, and the bowguns. I know that bowgun mains have been waiting for quite a few changes to their bowguns. Anyway, improved game stability. Steam version, DLSS4 and FSR4 is now supported for graphics upscaling, and I'm very disappointed in AMD because they're only adding FSR4 to their 90 series cards, which basically tells me that they're taking a page out of NVIDIA's book, which is absolute scumbaggery, because obviously they can just enable FSR4 on older cards, and they're choosing not to do it, which is basically the same thing that NVIDIA does. But yeah, it is what it is. Adjusted the amount of VRAM used with texture streaming, resulting in reduced overall VRAM usage. There's also an issue, which they mentioned here as well, fixed an issue where the estimated VRAM usage in display graphics settings was calculated lower than actual value, and fixed the issue of increased CPU load due to shader compilation occurring during gameplay, resulting in unstable performance until compilation is complete. This actually I hadn't seen in the patch notes. This wasn't in the patch notes. The issue of increased CPU load during shader compilation occurring during gameplay. I told you guys in my previous video that one of the big problems that we had with the recent update is that it messed up shader compilation, which is why I gave people instructions on how to fix that. Now, I'm not saying that, oh, this excuses all of the performance issues, because that's what people always seem to say. It's just like I said in my video. If there is a potential solution, I like to present that regardless of anything else, right? Yes, there are still performance problems, and I don't think that this title update is going to fix all the performance problems, but we'll have to see what happens with this lower VRAM usage. Now, with the adjustment on VRAM usage, I think that what we're going to see is at least a slight improvement on lower-end hardware, because there's a lot of GPUs, particularly if you're like on the 3060 range or the 4060 range, that are really struggling with VRAM. And the thing is, a lot of people are like, well, it's not even taking up that much VRAM according to what it says in the settings. And it's like, yeah, but the display on the settings is actually wrong according to what they're saying here. So it's not reporting proper VRAM usage. So your card might actually be VRAM completely stuffed, and we don't even know unless you're actually checking, like, you know, with the task manager and all that stuff. If you're just checking in game, that was calculating the wrong VRAM. And yeah, so what that means is you will see the proper VRAM this time around, and you might not notice, oh, but they said they lowered it. Yeah, they lowered the amount of VRAM that the game is using, but at the same time, they fixed the wrongful display that was showing less VRAM usage than normal. It's going to be weird, but we'll see what happens on Monday. We'll see if there's like significant improvements or not, but I think the CPU load situation with shader compilation, I think that is actually significant, and I'm surprised that this wasn't mentioned in the patches yesterday. Maybe they've added them since I've read them live yesterday, but we'll see. And then we also have here future update plans. So far, we have discussed what we will be addressing in the second free title update. However, we feel there are still many points of feedback and requests to address. In particular, expanding endgame content is a focus area for us in future updates. Here's a look at how we plan to expand the endgame content. Free Title Update 3, end of September. In Free Title Update 3, a new level of quest difficulty will be added, which will feature their own unique rewards. Hunters can use these rewards for a new talisman crafting system. And here we go. Which can be assigned various skills at random. The new talismans can be assigned a wide variety of skills, including those exclusive to weapons and armor, and will also be randomly assigned slots for decorations as well. We believe this system will broaden the range of builds and create a gameplay loop that encourages players to equip themselves to take on the game's toughest challenges. This is what I was talking about with monkey paw curls. Like, look, I know that this is going to be a take that is going to be divisive within the community. And I just want to express, I don't care if you prefer RNG talismans or RNG decorations, I don't care. Okay? I don't feel any type of way about how you feel about these things in the game. That is your business. But me personally, I absolutely load RNG talismans. And I know that that was the way that it's always been in the older games and yada, yada, yada. But listen, my RNG in both Rise and Sunbreak was so astronomically bad that after like, I don't know, 700 hours or however much I have in that game, I was still, well, actually, no, it's 700 hours on like my PC save or my Switch save. I forget on which save I have some, but I have like another save that's got like another 500. So it's like, I don't know, 1,200 hours plus, 1,300 hours plus, however much I have in Sunbreak across 2 different saves. After all of that time, I think that in both saves, I was still using a Rise talisman. And you guys are like, oh, so you just didn't engage the system? Oh, no, I engaged with the system. Oh, no, I farmed it. Oh, yeah. The anomaly talisman, yup, I did all that. And all the talismans I got were hot garbage. So, yeah, I'm not particularly excited about RNG talismans. I never, there was a point at which I thought, oh, RNG, we get rid of the RNG on decorations, we get it on talismans. Nah, I'm way over that. I prefer RNG decorations 1,000% over talismans because it was miserable. And I'm actually less excited about Title Update 3 because of the fact that we're getting RNG talismans back. I hate them. I do. I hate them. I can't friggin' stand them. This actually saddens me quite a bit. But, it is what it is. We will announce information on the main features of Free Title Update 3 separately at a later date, so please look out for more information in the future. Free Title Update 4 this winter. Free Title Update 4 is scheduled to be released this winter. This update will include a new monster as well as more challenging elements. We are considering ways to ensure that the Artian weapons you have already forged will remain valuable. This is another thing that I'm not a big fan of. Like, I don't like the idea, because again, it's RNG weapons. So it's like, we're talking about the end game being around RNG weapons and RNG talismans. I don't like that. I don't like the RNG aspects of Artian weapons, and I don't like the RNG aspects of the talismans that is going to be coming later down. Like, listen, I've always said this, I will always say this until I'm blue in the face. One of the best aspects of Monster Hunter is like, hey, you want to make the big fire sword? Go kill Rathalos. Go kill Rathalos, bring his materials, go make the big fire sword. That is like the best. That is peak. That is the best loot system in existence in any video game ever. Okay? To hell with this RNG nonsense of like, oh, go farm these materials, put in the slot machine, see the slot machine thing come up. You've got +2 poison resist, +1, I was about to say wire bug whisper, we don't have that, +1 part breaker, and 2 tier 1 slots. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that. Not to mention that in past entries of the game, we've had also the charm table situation. Let's hope we don't get another one of those, because basically what that means is in previous games, the charm tables, it would mean like, okay, these are the potential charms that you're going to roll. And you're like, so wait, what if I want something different? These are the potential charms that you're going to roll, sir. And you're like, well, how do I change that? You can start a new save. Please, no charm tables. Okay, anyways, we are considering ways to ensure the Artian weapons you have already forged will remain valuable. I wish you would consider ways to ensure that the weapons on the monster tree remain valuable. I'm actually curious of what people prefer. Let me know in the comment section of this video. Would you prefer that Capcom ensures that Artian weapons remain valuable? or that Capcom ensures that the weapons on the weapon tree, the actual monster weapons, remain valuable. As valuable, if not more valuable, than Artian weapons. Which one of these is more important to you? Artian weapons or actual monster weapons? Let us know in the comments section down below. I think that this is going to be very important for us to check out. So we hope you will continue to forge and strengthen your Artian weapons while waiting for more info on Free Title Update 4 in the future. We are also working on various improvements and adjustments, including improving usability and game stability. We'll continue to work on through these updates, title updates, excluding bug fixes and other updates will be implemented every few months, as with the first and second updates. Thank you for your patience. And then in here, they talk about some of the things that we're going to be getting for Title Update 3, Title Update 4. Okay, so we also have here another thing about guild reports. To keep you updated on what the development team is working on going forward, we plan to share a series of guild reports on this account. Through these reports, we'll share a response to your feedback and requests on how we plan to address them going forward. We'll share the specific details of our responses, including those that are not covered in the director's letter, through our social media channels. Thank you to everyone who has played Monster Hunter Wilds and shared their feedback and requests. We take community feedback seriously and will continue to do our utmost to provide a more comfortable and enjoyable gaming experience. We hope you will continue to enjoy Monster Hunter Wilds. I'm gonna be real. The focus on Artian weapons and RNG talismans deflated me a little bit. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting like, oh man, we're gonna get some news from the director's letter. It's gonna be, you know, more good stuff. And then I read RNG talismans, and we're gonna make sure that your Artian weapons remain valuable. That these are not the things that I personally play Monster Hunter for, which is, it saddens me a little bit. Not gonna lie. Anyway, let's take a look at what is this guild report thing. Introducing Guild Report. Since launch, we received a variety of feedback and requests from the community. Going forward, we plan to directly share and update you on some of the improvements we're making based on your feedback in a series of Guild Report posts. Please note that the content mentioned in these reports are still under development and are subject to change. Okay, so this is basically one of the things that was mentioned during my live stream, as well as in feedback in the form of comments in my channel. Which is a lot of people feel like Capcom isn't acknowledging that, like, for instance, one of the big ones is they're not acknowledging that the game has serious performance issues. It seems like this might be the place where they are doing that. They're going to be talking about that in Guild Report. At least that's the vibe I'm getting from this first post. So, Guild Report 1. Hunters, the team is continuing to work on improving the optimization performance of the Steam version of Monster Hunter Wilds. Here are some of the... Poor Jono. Jono, no! Copy-paste has failed you, brother. Here are some of the improvements included in Free Title Update 2. Request. Optimize the performance of the Steam version. More like a demand, really. Improvements. Adjusted the amount of VRAM used by texture streaming, reducing the amount of VRAM usage overall. Bug fixes. Fix an issue where the estimated VRAM usage shown in display settings and graphics settings calculated below here. As mentioned, we've also made improvements to reduce actual VRAM usage compared to before. Please review your display settings and graphics settings after updating. We're continuing to work on performance and optimization improvements beyond those featured in Free Title Update 2, and will provide updates when we have... What? Okay, please review your display settings. Okay. Okay, so this is just like a slide of the stuff that they've done. Guild Report 2. I kind of feel like this one in particular needed a little bit more things. They probably could have talked more about performance stuff. There's also something that they're doing in regards to the performance, by the way, which is like the game's going to give you a warning when you launch the game and you don't have the most updated drivers. But to be honest, that's kind of like a double-edged sword, specifically when it comes to NVIDIA, because according to reports that I've been hearing from people, NVIDIA has actually been releasing the crappiest drivers imaginable over the last like semester or so. It seems like everybody's constantly having to re-roll back drivers. I know for a fact that during the review period of Monster Hunter Wilds, a lot of people reported that like, oh my god, these drivers are absolutely atrocious and they're making the game unplayable. And I've heard from several people, like, and this is not just a Wilds thing, like they're experiencing performance issues with multiple games with recent NVIDIA drivers. And again, before people jump on me, it's like, here comes Rurikhan shielding. It's like, I'm just telling you guys the things that people... I don't even have an NVIDIA GPU, okay? I don't even have an NVIDIA GPU. I have AMD. So, like, going back on drivers is something that I've had to do on a regular basis because AMD destroys drivers all the goddamn time. Okay, it's in a way it's almost like, hey, NVIDIA users, welcome to the average AMD experience of having to roll back drivers because they messed something up. Okay, this happens often. The game still has performance issues regardless of that. But basically, even if the game warns you that you don't have the latest drivers, make sure that you're Googling information as what are the most stable drivers currently for your GPU, which in the glorious year of 2025, it's not always the latest ones. As a matter of fact, it seems that it's rarely the latest ones because GPU manufacturers are screwing the pooch. Anyway, continuing onwards. Guild Report 2. Based on your feedback, we have made some improvements in the UI in the free title update 2. Request make it quicker to access the map, which cannot be easily opened due to notifications and important chat appearing on the right side of the screen. Skip function for important chat has been removed, so the chat can be opened even while important chat notifications are on screen. In addition, when focusing on large monsters on the map, the area hierarchy will no longer automatically be switched, improving the usability of the map. Okay, so it's stuff like this. If you have these messages, you can still open the map. That's cool. That is actually quite important because there's been several where I'm like, oh, why isn't this opening the map? Open the map, damn it. Just open the damn map. Okay, so that's cool. Guild Report 3. In response to the requests we received regarding Sacred, we are planning to make improvements for title update 2, or some of them. So they are basically improving the responsibility, the responsiveness of Sacred. We can see it here. So Sacred is even faster. To be honest, this is another one of those situations where it's a double-edged sword because Sacred Recovery is grossly OP. I personally don't even use it in-game. And having it be even better than it already is, I'm not exactly sure that's a good thing, but to each their own. Guild Report 4. In response to community requests regarding weapon balance adjustments, planning to make some changes in addition to the weapon balance adjustments included in the second free title update announced today. We're going to make further adjustments in August. So we already know about these. I already talked about those. And yeah, looks like this is all there is in the current guild report. So lots of new things to go over, but it's like, listen, I'm super excited to jump in, beat Steve, beat Lagiacrus, fight whatever monster comes afterwards. All of that is just like, mwah, chef's kiss. Super pumped, okay? Game still has massive performance issues. We talked about that. Absolutely, that is still the case. As you guys can tell, the team is still working on that, so it's not fully fixed. One of my concerns in regards to that is actually the fact that one of the things that they mentioned here is like, it's not on this one. It wasn't in this one. Yeah, it was somewhere around here where they talk about like DLSS and FSR4 and all of these things. And I'm just like, DLSS, yeah, here it is, improved game stability, right? DLSS and FSR4 is like, look, this is all great, you know, upscaling, all of that stuff, but I feel like you need to be making improvements on the base, you know, native rendering of the game, rather than focusing on like, no, we're just gonna, you know, improve the support of like upscaling technology and frame generation and all of that stuff. I don't agree. Like the VRAM optimization, fantastic, awesome, more of that. The whole upscaling stuff, I don't know. Focus more on making the game render properly at native resolutions rather than just focusing on upscaling and frame gen and all of that stuff, which I am using, by the way, on my 7900 XTX. I'm upscaling quality FSR right now, FSR 3, I'm assuming. I'm not going to be able to use FSR 4 because I have a 7900 XTX, even though rendering wise, I believe it's actually more powerful than the 9070. Not going to be able to use FSR 4. Thanks, AMD. Thanks, GPU manufacturers, for being so goddamn miserable. But yeah, it's like, I'm excited to jump in, hunt the monsters. I'm not excited to jump in and spin the slot machine on RNG talismans. And I'm absolutely not even going to spin the slot machine on Artian Weapons. Like, if you guys have seen the stream where I crafted my Artian gun lances and stuff, I was like, this is good enough. You know, I'm not going to be rolling slot machines and see, is it this time that I get the 1 sharpness and 4 attack? No, I'm just not doing that. It's the same thing that it was with Sunbreak and Curious Crafting. I loathe Curious Crafting. This is why I did it at the end of the streams. I would never do it during a stream if I could avoid it. I'd always do it at the end because I knew after I do Curious Crafting, I'm not going to feel like playing the game anymore. So, yeah, them going down this route of more RNG talismans and Artian Weapons is actually disappointing. I want to see more support for the monster weaponry. That's what I want to see. I want to see is like, listen, I want to see us talk about how we're going to make Chatacabra's weapon viable in endgame. I don't know if they actually are or not. I haven't really checked. I'm just assuming, because usually the first monster kind of sucks when you get the end game. So it's like, focus on that, okay, and make it so that every, or at least as many of the monster weapon trees can compete with Artian weapons. Because one of the things that I've noticed is I don't think that many people in the community want to be using Artian weapons over monster weapons. But anyways, that's going to be it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, hit the like button, subscribe, bell notification icon, all of that jazz. Let me know what you guys think about the mini director's letter and all of that in the comments section. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay strong, stay safe. Peace out.